So, hey, welcome to our prayer tools kind of podcast conversation here. We're on to day 2 in the 30-day prayer journal. And day 2 is prayer journaling, which is our second tool. This for me is a personal favorite. And I think a part of that is because, I don't know, my brain, I just have more ideas. My mentor said, hey, you got more ideas in a day than most people have in a month. And so for me, sometimes it's hard to shut it down or to feel like I've got clarity. And prayer journaling, it just engages so much of you. It goes from your mind to your hands to, the journal. You physically see it going out. Like for me, this is an incredibly fruitful tool that I keep coming back to. Time and time again, especially if I'm really wrestling with something that is kind of weighing on me. Prayer journaling becomes like a really helpful tool that I use. What's your guys' experience been with prayer journaling?
I'll go. So I can hardly read my own writing. Nobody else can. Just ask Dave. But this is one of the types of prayer that has impacted me most over the last decade. I think I read 1,000 Gifts, which is in my top 5 spiritually transformative books when I was 16. And it is all about gratitude as the foundation for your perspective, your life with God. Eucharisto, thanksgiving, this word in Scripture about how do you kill the anxiety. How do you lean into God's provision and see life the way God wants you to see life? It's by not taking everything He's given you for granted. And so the 1,000 gifts concept is like journal out 1,000 of God's gifts that He's given you, And so I have multiple journals at this point in my life and it's just a list because I can't read my writing. It's not long prayers. It's just 1, 2, 3 words, sometimes a sentence of, and I'm in the multiple thousands of things. And then when you go back and look at that journal, it's just so amazing to see God's hand over you.
I resonate deeply with the handwriting thing.
Yeah.
Because I'll write cards to people in my family, and they're like, "We need you to read this to us." I'll even sometimes go back, and I'm like, "I can't read it." When it comes to prayer journaling, though, I've gone through seasons where it's I'll type them out because my handwriting's so bad. But then also, for me lately, it's been nice to handwrite it because I know God knows, and I know that just that physical act of
slows me down,
makes me think. And then I don't have to worry about somebody reading my deepest prayers because they can't read my handwriting.
Genius.
Love it. No, I don't think Brandon knows this, but he's the one that got me into prayer journaling. I don't think he realizes COVID. He probably doesn't. Before COVID, I never did prayer journaling. That wasn't my thing at all, right? It was foreign to me. And then we did a podcast together during COVID time. And it was about rhythms.
Yeah.
We were doing rhythms. And really that's when I started journaling, right? And it was so different for me. It was something just clicked in. You're hearing it at that time, what God is speaking to you. You're journaling it. You're writing out your prayers and all that. But it's something different when you get a chance to look at it. Right now, I have a whole bunch of sheets of paper and things like that in my Bible. That's so super messy. But literally, it's okay, this is what I'm praying about. This is what it's praying. And it holds me to a place of knowing, going back and say, God answered these prayers.
Yeah.
Right? It goes me back to say, this is what you're asking God for. And it allows me to see where I'm at, how I've grown. And it allows me to come back and say, okay, look what God is doing. But it was just it was different for me to understand what prayer journaling. And I still maybe don't do it as much as I should, but it's really helpful for me as an individual because it takes time, as you all were saying, okay, it's now coming out of my hand and I'm seeing the actuality of it. And it's it's different when you see it.
Yeah.
And you turn back a couple weeks or months or whatever and you look at it and you're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to jump in really quick on what you said about like I don't do it all, as much as I would. I went through a lot of seasons where if I didn't do it in a day, and so many people experience this that I've known, talked to, and asked the question, I feel bad if I don't do it regularly. And I think like prayer is a gift. Prayer is not a law. That when you miss a day of prayer journaling or any of the types of prayer we're talking about, Satan is the one who wants you to feel the guilt and shame. God is the one who wants to invite you into more. And so I've tried to reframe like, okay, my journal got stuck under this. I haven't touched it in a month, 2 months. I've seen it now as God's given me the gift of picking this up. And every time I've missed it, I go back and I read and I just look at how good God is. And that makes me want to write it. And then I'm consistent for as long as I'm able. And so that's like, I think we get into so much like guilt and shame of I'm not doing enough. And that's Satan. That's not from God.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up because I was talking with my spiritual director one day about that same thing. And I tend to be an Enneagram 7. So like I get super curious. I love digging deep into something and then digging deep into something else. I tend to be disciplined in some of my rhythms, but not disciplined to the point where I always do the same thing. And my spiritual director is just like, well, what if it's not doing this specific thing every time, but what if it's just creating space? And like, this is the space I'm creating to be with God. And then in this season, I'm journaling more because I'm trying to create more of like a Benedictine rhythm in my life. And so the journaling helps me see where I'm doing that. And right now it's fruitful. So for now I do that, but that rhythm may change. The style of prayer may change, and that's okay. Because to your point, it's not about being legalistic. In fact, the reason in this journal we threw in, you've got some blank page, you've got some like lined page in here. It's like journaling could be you writing something out. It could be you drawing a picture, an icon. It doesn't always have to be a full page. Some of you type A's. It's okay. You don't have to fill every lined page here in the journal. Like, it's okay.
But you do get bonus points.
You do get bonus points. Yeah. And if you bring your journal, we'll put a stamp in it saying no. Yeah. But like, some days you might just want to write one thing. It's like, this was the predominant thought that came from my time of prayer with God. And it's like 1 or 2 words. Like, or maybe you need that space to just let it out in a space where you can process. And then when you're done, you can be like, all right, it's on the page now, God, it's yours.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love what you just said there. You were talking about kind of like the space. And I've liked that about like now going into prayer, it's more like there's not a formal routine, right? Yeah. Right? Because it's like that with our spouses. It's not, this is how we go to our spouses, 1, 1, 2, 3. Like, no, we're just going and we're just creating that space to have conversations. But I love that. And that is point. Like the enemy tries to like accuse you, things like that. But just understanding that, hey, we're going before him. He's so merciful, right? He's so gracious to us. Like, just what an honor it is just to even go before him. What an honor it is to go before. I think that kind of posture, that you try the next day. None of us are perfect. We've all missed, I'm sure, the day of prayer. And we go back. We keep going back. So that's powerful. Just creating that space for it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love that. And I think, too, so if you're going to try this, and these guys may have a different, the way I've always done it is I do it like I'm writing an email to God. Very, very first person back and forth. And I'm really weird. My wife thinks this is hilarious, but like I date the top and I'll write it out, and then at the bottom I'll sign it and I'll date it again. It's like somehow the date was going to change between the top and the bottom. I'm weirdo that way, but that's how I've done it.
Yeah, and I think give that a try if you want to try things you're thankful for. I know I've preached and offered that I think on Thanksgiving Eve, but it's another easy low writing time, but just been impactful for me. So yeah, I'm glad we chatted about this. The other thing that with prayer too, you can write prayers that you go back to for people who like rhythm. And so prayer journaling can also be, and I've got a couple of those. I've got a couple that like are progressive over the years that like you build on, but you come back to, and that's another way to try it.
Yeah, the Bible does that. Book of Psalms.
That's right.
Right, journaled prayers that people can come back to. I like. Well, if you're kind of digging through these resources, if you're finding this for the first time, go to faithoakville.org/prayer resources. You can find all these conversations, other tools, other helpful things, and then I would just encourage you try it. Whether you type it, whether you write it, you're going to just find out. One of our rhythms is there's no one right way to do this, but today our challenge to you is find just a little bit of time and space to try a little bit of prayer journaling. And if you need to, if it makes you more honest, like write it down, rip it out, throw it away, burn it. Like the idea is not that you're going to hold on to this forever and that you stick it on a shelf and your kids find it one day. Like the idea is just to facilitate that conversation with you and God. And so if you want to do it and then delete it, get rid of it, it's still going to be fruitful because it was that time and space with you and God.